Today we're going to look at Uttanasana, or forward fold, which is quite a basic move in yoga. Everybody will have done this at some stage. If you go to your doctor or someone, they say, well, we're going to see how flexible you are and we're going to get you to touch your toes. And most of us can't touch our toes simply because we haven't practiced it. Not that we're terrible with our flexibility, it's just that when you stop doing something and you sit down and you use muscles for other things, then the muscles don't stretch as much because they're a little bit tighter. So the forward fold of trying to touch your toes is basically what Uttanasana is. Okay, so we're going to run through this, give you some variations basically of how to do a forward fold. So we start off generally like most things in our mountain pose. So a lot of the yoga postures come from this, so it's really important to get a handle on mountain pose and to master this. Feet shoulder width apart. You can do this with your feet together depending on the style that you're doing. Some people will do mountain pose with feet together. It doesn't make much difference. So all we're going to do from here is when we bend, it's bending from your hips. So we're pushing our hips back. I'm not rolling my shoulders. I'm pushing my hips back as far as they go. And then you'll see that the head, I'm going to let the head and shoulders relax. I'm going to look at my knees. And that generally brings me into a basic forward fold. So I'm going to turn to the side so that you can just see the basic form. So from here, it's the hips go back. So you can see that my back is straight. So even when I go back in yoga, we have a half back where we do this posture. So my back is still straight, my hips are going, and then I'm allowing my head to come look between my knees, and then you just let your hands come and bring it back up. For beginners, and for when you do this for the first time in a long time, that's going to be really, really hard. So a lot of us can't get to the floor simply because your hamstrings are too tight. That's really it. So in order for us to get further, what we do is as we push our hips back, we bring forward, we then bend our knees, which will take the hamstrings out and allow the chest to come forward, which now means that you can touch the floor. This isn't cheating, okay? We want to work with baby steps to get our body and our muscles used to a certain position, and then we can learn to straighten our legs a little bit more. So if you're starting off, we can use a chair. So if I have a chair here, we can do two ways with the chair. I can put my hands on top of the chair and just push my hips back until you start to feel a little stretch. So it's a nice stretch for the hamstrings. And if I bend my knees a little bit more, I can feel the stretch into my back. And you can just practice that way. We can also, as you get a little bit better with that, we can turn the chair around. And because it's a little lower, I can put my hands here and do the same thing again. I'm pushing my hips back and I'm just lowering. You might even be able to get your head towards or close to the seat. And bring it back to center. Now if I'm a beginner again, if I bend my knees, I can bring my head right down and then slowly bring it back up. So we're taking it nice and relaxed. If you want to get a little further from there, we can use our block. And then it's the same thing again. So it's pushing the hips back, and you can just gently bring your fingertips, your hands. The importance of using a block or even the chair is not to lean in, because your balance will go and all your weight will be in here and it's quite dangerous. So basically you just leave your hands lightly on top and just push the hips back and let the head and shoulders fall, and then bring it back to center. So this exercise does two things. If I keep my legs straight, you'll find that it's harder to get to the floor because now I'm stretching my hamstring. So this is a hamstring workout, really, for the stretch. When I bend my knees,
I take the hamstrings out, and now this becomes a spinal stretch. So depending on what you're trying to do, if you're doing your forward fold because you want to stretch your back, you will bend your knees at the beginning. So you can get a lovely stretch into the spine. You let the head and shoulders relax. If you want to do a little bit more on the back of the legs and the hamstrings, you can keep the legs straight. But don't worry that if you don't touch the floor that you're not doing yoga or there's nothing wrong. There's nothing like that. It's about getting things back into the body. So if I bend my knees and I get to here, you can practice then by just straightening one leg and then the other. And that helps to gently bring this stretch into the body. And eventually over time you might be able to do 2 legs and slowly bring it back up. So that's the easy way and the basic way of doing a forward fold. And like everything, with a little bit of practice, you will get deeper. Your hamstrings will stretch, your back will stretch, you'll get further to the floor. You'll be able to put your palms on the floor, you'll be able to put your knee and your head onto your knees. So these are all variations that will come, but remember with yoga postures, it could take you 20 years. Like, it's a long practice. So don't try and do everything at once because your body just won't be able. So we want to do baby steps with the forward fold. So again, the forward fold in your mountain pose position, it's push your hips back. See, my back stays nice and straight. Now I'm going to bend my knees and you can see me tilting. So I'm trying to get, for this, I'm getting my chest towards my knees. I let my hands come to the floor and then I let my head look between my legs. I'm in a forward fold. Then you can also straighten the legs and play with that. And then push through the feet. Come back up and bring it back to center. So Uttanasana is your forward fold. It's what we do at the beginning of sun salutations and things like that. Practice it nice and gentle. Practice it first with the chair, then you might move on to a block, and then you can just practice coming down to the floor. But every little bit helps, and over a period of time you'll find that you'll be able to get a little bit further to the ground. So that's your forward fold, or Uttanasana.